Welcome everyone. I'm Amy. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner and I'm also an NPC bikini competitor and maybe, just maybe, an NPC fit model competitor. So this is my week 23 reverse, potentially my 4 weeks out vlog. Let's talk about that. So you guys remember from my outro from last week's video that I floated out the idea to Aaron that perhaps I should consider doing a fit model show. So I got my feedback from Aaron and this is what he said. Number one, I think it was great for him to see me in person because the thing that he was the most concerned about this check-in was not something I brought up, but something that he noted about my physique when he saw me in person. And that is that I have a lot of thoracic rounding. I have very poor mobility in my upper spine and my thoracic spine, so it's my mid-spine really. And that's something that I definitely used to bring up to my previous coach quite a bit, that I felt like I had really poor mobility there, and it was just never something that he responded about or brought up. And I guess it just never really was something. I mean, I've always known that or have known that, and I felt like that was something that was pretty limiting for me in some of my posing, and also just it's notable. Well, Aaron noticed, and that seemed like something he was legitimately very concerned about. So I do already have an appointment scheduled with my chiropractor / physiotherapist on Tuesday to start working on that. Ryan, you guys have seen that in my previous videos. So hopefully get some footage of that to have him help me start working on that upper thoracic mobility. And yes, I do tend to have a somewhat forward posture. I do spend, a lot of time working at a desk or at my standing desk, doing charts and other things on the computer. So I definitely do have, those kind of normal for these day and age kind of things where I have a bit of that hunched or rounded posture, but it is something that I know is a problem and something I definitely need to work on. I have, from probably almost a year ago now, one of my videos where I talked about things I use for recovery and rehab, and one of them is my like back arch kind of thing, the stretcher. So I definitely need to be spending more time on that. And then I'm going to ask Ryan when I see him in a couple of days for home exercises and things I can start doing at home to start working on that thoracic mobility. I also I got on the Facebook Marketplace and I'm looking for an inversion table, like for home use. I think that might help as well. So we'll see what Ryan has to say about that. Before I spend the money on one, I want to kind of get his thoughts on whether or not that's really worth it to have something like that at home. Get back to using my neck stretcher more often, my neck sling. That's another thing that I had in my recovery video. So I do have some of these tools at home. I just haven't been good about using them and really focusing more on working on that thoracic mobility. So that was the primary thing that Aaron really brought up in my feedback this week. But then of course he got to the question where I asked about potentially doing a fit model show. When he saw me in person, that was one of the things that we'd kind of chatted about, that I'm pretty much at the level of conditioning that they look for. And that's what got me to thinking about it. I'm like, if I'm at this level of conditioning now, and the shows here in Colorado, the local shows start the first weekend in April, which is less than a month away, which is shocking. Yeah, like really shocking. But I'm like, if I'm at and or near the level of conditioning they're looking for, like, why not just try it? Like, why push, if I keep pushing deeper into my off season, obviously I'm going to surpass that pretty quickly, because my body weight's going up and all these other things are changing. But if I'm kind of right there now, like, what if we just kind of hold here for a couple of weeks and do a show? He said, absolutely. He said, I'd change nothing. We'd obviously do somewhat of something for peak week, but he said he'd literally change nothing. Why not just do it? So panic, right? And my biggest issue is that my suit hasn't gotten here yet, the suit that I ordered back in January. So tomorrow, Monday, I'm going to reach out to Toxic and just let them know that my, planned May show date is now potentially an April show date just 3 weeks away. And is there any way I can get my suit here before then? Because obviously I've never tried it on. I don't know how it fit. And oh, by the way, I don't really know the posing. So I did play around a little bit with the posing. Maybe I'll insert that here. Just me kind of being like, is this it? It's rough. But clearly I need to work with somebody to actually put together a real routine. It's just 2 poses. They don't want you to do a transition. You just kind of come out, hit that funky stallion pose, flip around, do your normal bikini back pose and come back around. So, oh wow, it's like suddenly like a lot to think about. Like, am I ready to be 3 weeks out from a show? Yikes. For a show that in a category I've never competed in? Maybe. So, got to think about that this week. I'm sure I'll have more to talk about in the outro on that front. Other than that, nothing else remarkable in my check-in. It is my deload week coming up, so I'll take a deload and then we'll kind of reassess, he said, what kind of training block to go into next. So that is all, that was it. That was it for my check-in this week. So, or for my feedback this week. Yeah, a lot to think about. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited. You know, and the crazy thing is, like, when this division was announced, the women who competed in the first fit model competition ever had about 6 weeks to prepare. So they were people who were either just naturally kind of ready, like the situation I'm kind of sitting in, and or were able to prep to be ready in less than 6 weeks, which is awesome. So it's not like it's unattainable for them. And it would be kind of cool to, you know, get up there on stage, the first Fit Model show of the season here in Colorado, and just kind of see what they say, see what the judges say about my current level of conditioning for the category. And yeah, so I have so much to think about. So that's the big thing from my feedback this week. Something I really wanted to talk about in this video, and we will do the digestion. I put a question box on my Instagram to see if anybody on Instagram had any questions. So I did get 2 questions that I'll address about nutrition or about digestion as well. But something very cool is that I have a friend who wrote a book, and I read it on the way to and from the Arnold, and I'm going to get it. So I thought I had it with me, but I left it on the counter. So I'm going to grab that. I will be right back. All right, I'm back again. So my friend Colin wrote a book. It is called The Wolves of New Erudu, and it is awesome. It's not a very big book. As you can see, it's very thin, and that was my biggest feedback to him, was that I just wanted more. Oh, by the time I got to Columbus, you know, I was about a little bit more than like a third or 2/3 of the way through the book, and I was sad already because, and I felt like I wanted the book, I wanted to be like barely into it. I mean, or if I was 2/3 of the way through, that the book should have been this thick by that point, because that's what I wanted. I wanted more of everything. But I won't read the whole synopsis on the back, but just a brief overview. It is a post-apocalyptic sci-fi adventure, a world lost to time, a man out of place, a fight for the future. An action-packed fusion of sci-fi and survival, The Wolves of New Erudu delivers heart-pounding battles, gripping intrigue, and an unforgettable journey through a world where a past is a weapon and the future is unwritten. Oh, it's so good. I don't tend to go for sci-fi books, but the way this book was written is so approachable, and the characters are just so enthralling. And I cried. I was reading it on the part that I was crying during was when I was flying to Columbus. Like, there's this epic battle scene, and oh, I was like sobbing, and there's a great love story and and a great friendship. And that's why I say I wanted more of all of this, and I would love nothing more than for Colin to write more books, even though this book has a beautiful ending and it could be a standalone book for sure. I want more of all of these people leading up. I mean, I want more of everything. I want to know more about all of these characters. Gil is the kind of the main character, and he's really awesome, but he had a good friend as well. Enki is his good friend, and they, you know, have some fun adventures. And yeah, to say I just wanted more of everything is really the best way to describe it. I would like a book like 5 times this long at least, and to have it be one in a canon of books in this series, because it's that good. But I highly recommend looking it up. It is linked in the description box below. So if you are a fan, you can get it on Kindle. And I was lucky enough not only to have my book signed by the author, but also to get like a pre-release version. So mine doesn't have page numbers, which I don't care. There's some other things that he changed after the fact, like just a few little things within it. And I actually think mine's really special because I have a copy that no one else has. So, and it's signed. And I was so impressed also. Like I said, I don't tend to go toward sci-fi books usually, or like more techie books, but there is, you know, the sci-fi component of it is so well written that I could follow it, and it was intriguing, and I didn't feel like I was lost at any point, or that it was kind of like going over my head or like using references that I didn't understand. and just the descriptors, and everything was so well done. And I've definitely read a lot of series. I read a lot. I am I read a ton, and a lot of different authors, and especially with an author's first book, I think something that you tend to see is that it's a little bit rough. But what I really appreciate about the way Colin writes is that you can tell that he is incredibly intelligent, because he uses words in the way that they should be used. And that's something that always bothers me when an author is using words that are not, they don't congruently go with the rest of the story, or they seem above and beyond what a person might say in a given situation. Like they're just using big words to try and make it seem like, a higher level of writing than it is. But with this, like, it was so, every part of it just really, it made sense. Like the descriptors and the words and the writing was all very, very much flowed in a way that made a lot of sense, not only to me, the reader, but also true to the characters of the story and true to the story itself, which I really appreciated, especially, again, for a first-time author. I mean, I'm so impressed. So, Colin, I don't know if you watch this, but if you do, thank you. This is amazing. It was an amazing read, and I love that you let me talk to you about all my thoughts. When I saw Colin in Columbus at the Ohio, I had read, like I said, about 2/3 of it, and I was like exploding at the seams to talk to him about it and to ask him questions and to try and get like background story on some things. And he was very patient and listened to me, gush and go on and ask him endless questions for a couple of hours. So, highly recommend. It is an amazing book. You will laugh, you will cry, you will be heartwarmed by the story of friendship and love, and it was great. So, all right, there was my interesting check-in from this week. A lot to think about. I mean, I've had that thought in the shower this morning, like, oh my gosh, if I am 3 weeks out from a show, I got to start skin prep. I think I have so much to do. I have to start shaving, like right now. Because you got to start that process a little bit ahead of time, because there's a lot to do. So we shall see. I'll know more in my outro, I'm sure. Other than that, the rest of the week, I do have a shopping haul to share. I went to Costco and Walmart, and of course I have more stuff from Redcon 1, because why not? They were not at the Arnold. I was actually disappointed. They had a big booth at the Olympia that was right next to our booth, but they did not come to the Arnold, which is fine. I have tons of their products. I didn't need anything, but clearly I did, because I got more. All right. If anybody has any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you have questions about fitmodel or anything like that, or have suggestions for me or tips, please leave those in the comments below. And I will see you all here in whatever comes next, and again in the outro. All right, so this is my quick shopping haul from the week. I went to Costco and Walmart, and of course I got some products from Redcon 1 because they were running an awesome sale. I do have a code. It is on the screen somewhere. I am not sponsored, but you do get a discount if you use my code, but they also run awesome sales. So if you find a sale that is better than my code, please use it. But let's start off with the Redcon 1 stuff. So I got a bottle of Fade Out. I actually got 2 of these. One of them I've already opened. This is the grape flavor. If you get this, it's a product for sleep. So that's really tiny. You're not gonna be able to read that, but it has L-arginine, valerian, L-theanine, chamomile flower, some hops, and just a very small amount of melatonin. I do like a tiny little bit of a scoop, like it's maybe 1/3 of a scoop. It's not even a 1/2 of a scoop. On nights when I need that little bit of extra sleep, I try not to rely too much on melatonin. If I take a full dose of melatonin, like the 5 milligrams, I find that it puts me to sleep like way too aggressively fast, but then I don't stay asleep well. But I don't find the same issue with this. But I've also never taken a full scoop. So a full scoop does have 5 milligrams of melatonin. But like I said, I'm getting like 1/4 to 1/3 of a scoop at night. So, maybe 1 to 2 milligrams of melatonin. And I find that it helps me sleep well and just kind of relax and fall asleep. I do it about, 45 minutes, half hour before I plan on going to sleep. And it's really, really nice. If you get this, don't smell it. It smells terrible, but it tastes good. And actually the blackcurrant flavor is really good too. Blackcurrant flavor smells even maybe more aggressively odd. And there's something in it. I'm not sure what it is, the ingredient in here that makes it smell like that, but it doesn't taste like that. It's actually really good. So love this for help with a little bit of sleep now and then. I also got a tub of the chocolate mousse. I love it. It's spelled mousse like a moose, the animal, chocolate mousse. MRE Light, I love this. It is a whey-free protein blend that digests really well for me and I really like, and this chocolate mousse flavor is really delicious. Also got another container of the Breach BCAAs. I use these when I'm doing fasted cardio, like on my off days or my rest days, I do fasted cardio. And I like doing a little bit of aminos kind of toward the end of that, just, you know, I don't want to do it beforehand, but I do it like, I sip on it a little bit as it gets toward the end of my cardio, just to kind of start replenishing some of those aminos so I can recover well. And I got a Total War Pump. This is a non-stimulant pre-workout that I love. I love a good pump product without extra caffeine. Got those. And then I also got a thing of the Canteen. This is in the Prime Punch flavor. Don't love this flavor, but I do like having some electrolytes. And I like that this electrolyte blend is not like super heavy on sodium. Like, yes, sodium is important, but this is a more balanced blend. Also, excuse me, it has a little bit of coconut powder in it and just some other good things to help kind of replenish after a hard workout. And then free with purchase, I got this Total War. This is the stimulant pump product, or the stimulant pre-workout product from Redcon One. I will sometimes do like a little bit, like a quarter scoop of the pre-workout that has stim in it. So this was a free gift with purchase, so it was awesome. That will last me a very long time because it's 30 servings and I use a teeny tiny bit of pre-workout at a time. So that's what I got from Redcon One. And then from Walmart, I got a unsweetened vanilla almond milk. The things I get from Walmart are pretty much the same all the time. I got this giant big jar of the pickle slices that I love so much. A couple of bags of my favorite, the fat-free mozzarella, that now I can no longer say they don't always have in stock because they pretty predictably do, which is great. A couple of bags of cauliflower. So I found, actually, this was an Arnold thing. When I was at the Arnold, I got a bag of just regular cauliflower instead of cauliflower rice, and I'm like, I kind of like this. So grabbed 3 bags of just the little regular cauliflower florets. Costco doesn't sell just cauliflower. Their blend is like a I think they call it the Normandy blend. And it's carrots and cauliflower and broccoli, but the pieces of veggie in it are so huge. I mean, like it's like a palm full of like broccoli floret. So I end up having to like spend a lot of time like chopping that. So I thought I'd try these from Walmart and see. They felt small, so we'll see how they do. And a couple more bags of Brussels sprouts. These are frozen. That's what I got at Walmart. Oh, and I got a couple of zucchini. Just a few. They didn't look great, but I'd already picked up zucchini at Costco, so I just grabbed a couple of zucchini at Walmart just to kind of make sure I had enough for the week. And then at Costco, I got 2 jars of the Better Than Bouillon. This is the reduced sodium seasoned vegetable base. I thought maybe they were getting rid of this. They still don't have a lot, but they had enough that I'm still a little nervous, so I just picked 2 up, even though I don't need them. They keep for a really long time. These don't expire until 2027. So grabbed 2 while they were still there. I got this big thing of, I decided to switch it up. Instead of getting sauerkraut this week, I picked up this big container of kimchi. So I'm really excited about that. And I got a bag of zucchini. These are the organic zucchini, which I love. And like I said, I did pick up a couple from Walmart just to make sure I had enough for the week because I've been really digging zucchini lately. And a bag of the organic frozen blueberries and a bag of turkey jerky. This is just great to have for snacks. It does need to be refrigerated after opening, but it's really great macros, has 8 grams of carbs and 10 grams of protein per serving, and it's really tasty. It's a little bit on the salty side. Yeah, 480 milligrams of sodium, 460 per serving, but nice for a snack, and I love just kind of having it in the fridge just to grab a piece if I'm needing a quick protein that doesn't need to be cooked. So that is my shopping haul for the week. Footage from my appointment with Ryan. As I mentioned, Aaron was rather concerned about my posture recently, and he's correct. It is something that I definitely need to work on, increasing my thoracic mobility and also just my posture overall. So, wow, Ryan really went to work on my kind of traps and rhomboids. These were killer. Like, it really hurt, but good, in a good way. Which was really good. And then just some other, kind of chest and shoulder mobility, which felt really good. Ultimately, he thinks that some of the main issue I'm dealing with is coming from a lot of just rotation from my hip. I feel it, and I definitely feel it more so after the adjustments, that I tend to really favor standing on one foot versus the other, and it can definitely kind of shorten things all on that one side. So it's the same side of my right leg. It's my right knee that hurts. My right hip then gets a little bit weird, and that's also my posing side, and then that kind of just all goes up the chain, and then my back and everything else gets all off. So we are like a tent, you know, we can't move one thing without moving everything in the body. So it felt really good to get all this readjusted. And even though I did end up with some really intense back pain after this session for a couple of days, I think it was just because everything really needed to be loosened up. Like I need to be getting in there more often. And definitely the next couple of weeks, you know, before my show, that's really what I'm going to be focused on, is getting in and getting as much work as possible. He gave me some tips for some things to do at home as well. So I will definitely do those, and I will be seeing him again on Tuesday of this next week. And then after that, here is just some footage of my posing from this week. I was still practicing all bikini. I do a couple of rounds of fitmodel at the very end, which you'll see. So really with posing, it's just about, you know, getting in the reps, getting comfortable. I do have a mirror in this room that I look into, which is really helpful, you know, just to make those little adjustments as you go through your posing, kind of see where you're at and how things are looking, and kind of get a feel for how it feels and looks at the same time. And then I do a couple of slowed down versions of my bikini pose, bikini posing. And then to finish it off, I did do a couple of sets of the fitmodel posing. I am doing my first fitmodel posing session to actually learn these poses on Monday, so I'm sure it will look a lot different when I do this again next week. Welcome back. I feel like I should have something more interesting to say because it is potentially the end of week 4 of my prep. Not that this week has been a prep week, but if I do a show, it will be in 3 weeks. So that is exciting. Let's talk about what I sent to Aaron for my check-in so all of this makes a little more sense. All right. So normal question, first question, I'm sorry, not normal question. The first question is digestive issues. I said none. Next question. How are you feeling overall well-being? I said good, nervous, excited, fluffy, not ready, all the normal. Am I really ready to step on stage in 3 weeks? Feelings. As long as you really think I'm at a good place to do fitmodel, I'm all in. But if you have any reservations, I'm totally fine not doing a show. I'm here for the brutal honesty. I saw my physio on Tuesday to address my posture. He worked a lot on my hips. See, I need to adjust my posture right now. My hips, knee, and thoracic spine. It all felt great, but a few hours after my appointment, I had sudden onset of extreme low back pain. I've never had low back pain. I put that in there. I've never had low back pain. Iced a lot, and it was 90% better on Wednesday, nearly 100% today. I'm seeing him again next week and have been doing my home rehab. So the things that Ryan gave me to do, you saw, or we talked about that you saw that with Ryan. My knee pain is completely gone. Like all that Graston that he did on my knee, ooh, did that hurt, but it completely gone. My suit and hair extensions are scheduled to arrive Saturday. Update, they're actually scheduled to arrive today. So I am going to have those. I will have an unboxing of my fitmodel suit in next week's video. And I also did order some curly hair extensions. I'm still kind of playing around with perfecting my show day hair, and I definitely need more. So I ordered some curly hair extensions. I'm concerned about the color match. I have a unique color of hair, so we'll see. They do have a little, it comes with, I'll do an unboxing of it, but it comes with like a little tester piece that you can, use to match, because if you open the main hair extensions, you cannot return them. So I'm excited. I've never used hair extensions before, but excited to see how those work. Next question is about recovery. Never sore. What week of the mesocycle you're in? It's my deload week, so it's meso week 6. I said no soreness and feeling well recovered, ready to go. Any exercise I'm having issues with, I put none. Anything else he should know? Nutrition, training, schedule, personal. I said this will be our first show prep and peak. What should I know or be prepared for the next couple of weeks? Thoughts on peaking? This show is at a venue I've competed at 3 times. It's a 30-minute or so drive from my house, so I'll get to be at home the night before. I'm assuming fitmodel will be last on stage. I am going to attend a local NPC seminar next Saturday, and we'll hopefully get an idea of how the show size, timing, etc. There was one show this season, maybe the very first fitmodel show ever. I think they did fitmodel first, but it seems like in all the other shows, fitmodel has gone last. That's usually what they kind of do. They do it from most muscular to least muscular for men's and women's categories. Well, that's not true. I mean, if you're at like something like the Arnold or the Olympia, the male bodybuilders go on last, but everybody else for the other typical categories, and at a local show, that's how they do it. So, or typically, but I would like to know that for sure, because it does change some things, just with timing. Something I've struggled with in the past is not feeling like I control my core by the end of the day. I prefer not to eat a lot on show day for that reason. I gave him my fasted weight from my last show of the season and said, please let me know if you have any questions about my previous peak weeks, what my previous peak weeks looked like. So that is definitely something that I kind of, being with a new coach. I was with my last coach for several competition seasons, so, I knew what to expect when we go into peak week, but this is going to be very different, and I kind of need that, especially because we're working in such a compressed time frame. I mean, I will be, basically by the time you guys see this video, it'll almost be peak week for me. So it's all going to happen really quickly. So I definitely want to have at least a little bit of an idea of what he expects from me as an athlete and what I can expect from him as a coach for peak week. Next questions are all just quality of sleep, how I stick to the diet. My quality of sleep I put as a 7. I didn't get great sleep this week. I put recovery as a 9. My Oura ring would disagree with me. It was giving me all the red flags this morning that my recovery is terrible and my readiness is in the dumpster. So I feel well recovered, but my body maybe doesn't. And I think some of that's just because I have had that, like, some inflammation from that low back pain that I had. I was definitely very watery, and I'll actually talk about that a little bit more. Digestion's been good. I put energy as a 7. I've been feeling tired at night, more so than typical, but energy has been good the rest of the day. I think I've just been kind of hitting the wall, and part of that's just because I've been busy at work this week, been working a lot, and the time changed too. I forgot about that. So I've been at work a lot later. I've been, just because time's gotten away from me, so I've been at work at least an hour to an hour and a half later every night, just because I don't know, the sun, I don't know why, but I've been working a lot, so when I get home, I kind of crash. But that's been fine. Stress, I put as a 4 to 5. I said much better this week. My assistant is finally back after being sick. So she's been back all week, which has been amazing and so helpful. And yeah, that's been huge, huge help. Appetite, I put as normal, 4 to 5. Glucose steps are up around 12,000. Any supplement kind of feedback or notes about that? I said my blood sugar is creeping back up. I've been doing 500 milligrams of metformin at night without any nausea or issues, considering adding in a morning dose or upping to 1,000 milligrams at night. I did talk to my doctor about this yesterday, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do on that front just yet. I bought a second glucose monitor, and the numbers are about 10 to 15 points lower on the new monitor. Both monitors passed the calibration test, so I'm not sure which is correct. I mean, they're both, I literally test them at the same time. So I use the same drop of blood. So I stick once, test both at the same time, and I'm getting readings that are, like I said, about 10 to 15 points off. With the new monitor reading lower. So not sure which is correct. I sent him pictures of both. I did both all week just to kind of show him the difference. So they both go up and down a similar amount. So that's good. So like they're both reading accurately for them, but which one is actually accurate? And that does make a difference because I don't want to become, like hypoglycemic if I'm taking too much metformin, but I also want to make sure that's doing what it needs to be doing. So again, I did briefly talk with my doctor about this yesterday, and we'll kind of figure out what to do from here. Still feeling like I might start my period this week. I said I was holding a lot of water the first half of the week, and I was. I mostly like Tuesday, Wednesday, and again, I think it was my body was kind of freaking out from all of the chiropractic work. It was really good, but it was so much adjustment in so many areas, and it had been so long since I've seen him that I think, and then with that low back pain hitting, I mean, like the next day, like Wednesday, like my low back was like, felt like a water balloon. Like it was just holding so much water back there or inflammation. So that wasn't great, which made me kind of nervous on Wednesday, but it was better by Thursday, and it's still a little tender back there, but it's feeling a lot better. First half of the week, general bloat, breast tenderness, and I wrote uterusy feelings, which he will not understand because he does not have one. But all you ladies out there watching, you know what I mean by the uterusy feelings. You just get those uterusy feelings. I said, I'll keep you posted. Sleep routine is the same. I go to bed around 9, I get up at 4. Personal goals for the week, be honest, areas you could do better in. I mean, this is really just my goals for getting ready for prep or for peaking. I said, number 1, learn fit model posing and practice routine. So I do have a posing session scheduled for Monday with Tori Wright. Tori Wright, I met her, so almost a year ago now, so it was last June, I met her at the seminar that Coach Adam and Ashley Kaltwasser put on here in Denver at the NPC Pro-Am show. So that was so cool, and Tori was there, so I got to meet her, and she has competed twice in the fit model division this year. So I'm very excited to do the posing session with her on Monday. By that point, I will have my suit, which is also great because I can kind of chat with her about that since, like I said, she has competed twice this season, so she knows. She also is a bikini athlete who is trying fit model. She is far more conditioned and lean and has way more muscle than me. So I'm really excited to kind of pick her brain about that. But then also, I obviously need to really learn the posing. You saw in my check-in pictures. Let's put my check-in pictures up. You've already seen the posing from this week. Let's put the check-in pictures up. So I did kind of play around with the fit model posing. Here's a side-by-side of just the two front poses, the bikini front pose and the fit model front pose, just so you can see the difference there. The back pose is the same, so the differences are going to be in the actual posing routine itself and also the front pose. The back pose is identical. It even says that in the pros and criteria that it's the same as the bikini back pose. Same thing with the walk, all the same. That's all the same as bikini. Number 2, I said practice hair extensions and show day makeup. I have never used hair extensions before. They do also require a little bit of care once you get them, which again, I will talk about when I do the unboxing. Like you can't just use them straight out of the box. You have to wash them and take care of them a little bit before you use them. So that's going to be a learning process as well. And then of course, figuring out how to apply them. I have TikTok confidence on that front. I've watched videos about it, but never actually done it. So we'll see. That's still private show day makeup, jewelry, etc. So the jewelry and the accessories essentially with Fit Model, you still do have some, you can still wear jewelry, but I definitely am going to pull it back a little bit. So I'm just going to do one bracelet. I don't even know if I'm going to do a ring. I probably won't. I don't know that I will do a ring. And of course, just a little bit more simple earrings is what I've seen on the winners so far. Some of them have worn a little more jewelry than others, but I think I'll keep it a little more basic. I have curly hair, and I feel like that's kind of a little bit of an accessory. So they're actually the woman who has won a pro card in Fit Model this season, she has curly hair. So maybe the curly hair works with Fit Model more than it works with bikini. We'll see. Mobility and stretching. So Ryan did give me some home things to do, and I have been doing those, which is good. I did them again today, did my stretching. I need to also renew my NPC card. It's something that expires every year, and I've not renewed it yet for 2025, so I need to do that so that I can register for the show. I also need to book my tan, and I book nails, and actually I did book my nails yesterday, so I'm actually seeing my nail tech, who I'm hoping will also be helping out with my show day makeup to do just instead of like redoing them right now, since I need to have them done before the show, I'm like, just with the awkward timing, have her just file them down a little bit next week so that they're not driving me crazy, and then do what, like the reset of them the week before the show. So she said, let's just chat about that when you're here next week. So that's perfect. So that's one thing that is checked off the list, which is good. The rest of the questions are about like digestion again. How are pumps in the gym? Pumps are not great this week because I'm just doing a deload week. Volume per session I put as a 2, super easy. Anything else you should know about training? No. Exercise is causing pain? No. The knee pain is gone, which is awesome. Sleep score was 83 as the average this week. It got a little bit worse, and all of these numbers have gotten a little bit worse over the last couple of days. Resting heart rate and HRV. My HRV is usually in the 50s. To give you an idea of how under or how upset my Oura Ring is with me, today it was 27. I don't know that, I feel like it has been almost that low before, but seeing it in the 30s for me is really low. Like my average for the week is 37, and that is very low for me. So clearly my body is having some issues with recovery this week based on my HRV, which is your heart rate variability. And that was it. And then just pictures. I sent pictures, the pictures you have seen, and then also pictures of my glucose readings from the week from each of their little apps, just so you can see the difference. Like I said, it is going up the same amount on each, but so like I know that the fluctuations are correct. I just don't know where the low is and where the high is. So it might, yeah. Does it really matter? A little. Before I change medication schedules, and that's what I wanted to talk to the doctor about, was like, I don't want to change anything with the medication if we're not really sure which one of these is the most accurate. It's a work in progress that I'll talk about. So, yeah, that has been this week. I know I owe you all a digestion video. I have decided to do it as a standalone video because since I am now potentially competing in a couple of weeks and be going into a peak, there's gonna be a lot of stuff to talk about on that side, and also with the added chiropractor visit this week. I didn't want to make this video too long, and I want to really be able to dedicate time to actually talk about digestion meaningfully and not have to rush through it. I did get 2 awesome questions on Instagram that I will absolutely cover, and then also the constipation side of things, and then also just how to basically deal with digestion, overall digestion, when you are in a bulk or a massing phase. This is definitely something that women deal with just as much as men do. This is something that can really be limiting or a limiting factor for athletes that need to grow and put on size. Appetite becomes an issue, and just the ability to assimilate food efficiently. And that really is the key with digestion, is it's not just what you're eating, it's what you're assimilating or what you're able to actually use to build muscle. So forcing food to force food is not really helpful if you're not actually digesting it and assimilating it well. And that was actually one of the questions that I got on Instagram that was so great, was talking about how like protein powder just destroys their digestion or their stomach. Well, then are you really getting the most benefit out of that? And I want to be able to really cover those meaningfully without making a video that's like an hour long. So I am going to do that as a standalone video. Hopefully next week, it will come out next week. I will work on that. And I really, digestion for me is so fundamental with what I do as a nutritional therapist. Like every single thing we do with nutrition is going to be key. Digestion is key, because again, if you are not actually able to assimilate nutrients from food, what are you doing? You have to address that side of things first. Like that is fundamental to human health and also digestion or nutrition. So digestion is key. So there will be a standalone video on that. And so if there are any other specific questions that you guys have about digestion or about nutrition, please leave those in the comments below, because I can address them in that video, that one-off video, or shoot me a message on Instagram. That's fine too. I think that's all I had for this one. I'm excited. Next week, we are going to be unboxing a fitmodel suit for the first time ever. I'm going to try it on for the first time ever. You're going to get to see my posing session with Tori. There's a lot of stuff coming in a very compressed time frame. I have to start skin prep next week because I will be under 3 weeks out. So I have a lot of things that all of a sudden have shown up on my plate, but I'm here for it. I'm excited. Yeah, I won't be the NPC seminar that I go to won't be in next week's video. It'll be in the week after, because that's on Saturday. So it'll be in the following week. So that'll maybe even be part of my peak week video. Wow, this is all coming so fast. I've never done my shortest prep ever. Actually, last season, I ended up condensing my prep into, what was that? Ended up being like 10 weeks for my first show. I think, and then like 14 weeks, 14, 15 weeks to the second show. So either way, this is a baby prep. It's just a short little prep. So we'll see how it goes. Oh boy, with all that said, definitely check out Colin's book. If you have not, The Wolves of New Arudu, it is amazing. I'm going to have a super awesome unboxing next week and a big everything haul, because I got my Amazon Subscribe and Save as well. So until then, please, please, please spread positivity and light to yourself and everyone around you. I hope wherever you are in the world, it is starting to feel like spring or fall, depending on what hemisphere you're in, and that you are doing well. Remember that you are amazing, you are worthy, you deserve it, and I will see you all here next time.